We, as human beings, think of us to be superiors. We aren't. We are human beings. We are supposed to be with the nature. We are supposed to live with the nature, not try and be above the nature. And when we try and do that, that is when we start destroying the nature. And the animals are your first point of reference when you are destroying the nature. The buildings that we are building, the things that we are doing, are the things we are destroying the nature with. And that is not right. We must always look forward. We should always try and cohabitate. And that is our aim. I started off, I was very young, and I was almost thrown out of my school because of my first interaction with the animals. And that was, I was in Missouri, and there are wild dogs so there are wild dogs who were in my school. And I used to rob my bread loaves from my hostel, and I used to go and feed the wild dogs. And that is where my teacher caught me, and I almost got rusticated. But it was my family, my mother, my father, who were called upon to take me away from the school because the school had decided that no, we can't have him because he's a 5-year-old and he's going to be killed by the wild animals. My father said a very brilliant thing to my chairman, that if he has to go, there is no way you can stop it. And that is what I think gave me the confidence to do what I'm doing today. While this was never on my list to do stuff, I started my career as a dance choreographer. I was a dance choreographer with the film industry. And from there, I kept moving on because it wasn't giving me the satisfaction. So everybody should look for the passion they're looking for. Yes, your books might teach you something, but there are things outside your own parameter that you should try and explore. Because exploring is what is going to make you what you're going to be at the end of the day. You're a human being. You have innumerable number of opportunities that are there for you. But because we are so psyched about what we are reading is what we should follow, no, you shouldn't. Take the knowledge, use it for the betterment. And that is what we as human beings should be doing. We are the intelligent ones. We can contemplate, we can work, and we can make things happen around us. I have been around dogs all my life. But I only got to know about how to be with them is when I got my first dog. Okay, I bought my first dog. Paying money, getting a dog. Which is not a wrong thing to do. But after she came into my life, her name was Phoebe, and she inspired me to help each and every dog that I come into contact with. So when I come into a contact with a dog, I have to help them. There is no way I can ignore them. But there is a theory also in my life that if I don't know a dog, his problem is not my problem. But the moment I know a dog, his problem is my problem. And that is how we've grown to being from 2 dogs. I have 150 animals today, not dogs. Because that is what inspired me. My dog inspired me to do what I do. And I was taught everything that I know from her, nothing from theory. There is no theory that I've ever gone through to learn how am I supposed to work with a dog. And that is the most important thing. You have to look for inspirations in your teachers, in your work that you do. Everything that you do, that is how you're supposed to take inspiration. You're supposed to take inspiration from life. Life is your biggest gift. You can talk, you can contemplate, and that is your biggest gift. You need to work with that gift, like I have done. And we started from a 2 BHK apartment where I was rehabilitating 7 dogs, aggressive dogs. You wouldn't believe this. You know, it might sound funny, it might sound unbelievable, but in the night, me, my wife, my 2 dogs, and I used to sleep on one bed. Not the dogs, but me and my wife used to sleep on the bed, and the dogs were around. And I had 7 dogs on the leashes sleeping with me. There was no way I could let them go, because the moment I let them go, they would fight. And they were all aggressive. It is just the energy that made them comfortable to be around me. And that is how I helped them. It started from there, and today it is, like I said, 150 animals, right from your bull calf to 2 horses that we have. And all of them are living a beautiful life. We don't train them. I'm not a trainer. I'm a behaviorist. I bond with the dogs. I work with the dog behavior. So if you have a dog, you need to work with in the bonding. Sit down, stay. That is all show off. You don't get a dog in your life to show off. And that is where in India we are going wrong. Because my neighbor has a dog, I should have a dog. No, that's absolutely wrong. Because your neighbor has a dog, he might have a different understanding with his dog. He might have the dog for a reason. No reason at all also. But he might have it for a reason. But you want a dog because he has a dog? Completely wrong. So we should never follow that lead. If you need a companion in your life, because now dogs are supposed to be companions, they're not pets anymore. Because of our hectic life and the movement that we have in our life, we don't have time to breathe. We don't have time to sit down with the family and you know, doing all the stuff that we used to do earlier. Now it is, you need a companion who cheers you up when you come back home. Because most of the families today are all working families. So we don't have the time to spend with each other. So this pet will give you the happiness of what you need to do. I have great examples in the dogs that I have, and it is just not one. Please welcome Seva. Come today. So this is Seva. Like I said, Phoebe. So Phoebe came into my life and she introduced me to the world of dogs. I worked with the dogs, and when we grew, so like I said, from a 2 BHK apartment, we went to a bungalow. From a bungalow, now we have reached a 6-acre farm where we have all the animals. And Phoebe came into my life to make me reach that place. She came into my life to show me the path that I'm walking on today. And this girl has taken over after her. This one has grown up in front of her. If Phoebe would have been there today, she would have been 9 years old. And this one is 5.5. So she grew up in front of Phoebe. So once Phoebe went away, she took over everything that Phoebe did with me. If you guys are comfortable, okay, let me ask, I forgot to ask this. How many of you are dog lovers? Oh my God, 90%. So it is just not about dogs. Dogs are there in the system. They have been around us always. But it is the animals. It is the animals, those who need help today. You can think about doing something for them. You can think about doing something for yourself. I tell everybody who comes to my farm, I have like more than 4,000 families that I've interacted with in the last 8 years. And I tell everybody that I'm just the manager. You know, they come into my life and they make me do things that needs to be done. So there is nothing planned. I don't plan. I'm just passionate. And that is what you need to be. You need to be passionate. You need to find that passion within yourself. What are you passionate about? It might be to be a mochi, you know. It might be to be a mochi, but do it in a way that the world will recognize it. Just don't do it, sit in the shop and, you know, start polishing shoes. No. Think of it, think something out of the box. And that is what you all can do. You all have the tools to do it. The kind of social media we have, the kind of innovations we are getting, we just saw the presentation. Oh my God, unbelievable, mind-blowing. And you know, you are the ones who can create that. I don't have the time to do it now. I have 150 animals, I'm done. And we are going to grow. I'm going to grow in my own way. And I'm going to keep doing innovations in my own way to make things better for the animals around us. Our first aim is to clean Mumbai of any stray dogs. But not by culling them, not by throwing them away, not by pushing them in some smaller cities, not by doing all of that. But there is a plan behind it. So we have an entire plan, and we are working on it where all these animals will have a house. They'll have a job, because they're supposed to be working dogs. Dogs were always supposed to be working. Now they've become companions, and they're in our home. So I really don't have to keep her on this leash. But because it's a new place for her, that is why she's on the leash. She's never been on the leash ever. This is the only place she's being on the leash because there are so many new people, new place. So she'll be all wandering around. And that is what she's doing right now. She wants to do something. She's not a sitting dog. She just can't sit. So animals can also inspire you, and I am the example of it. I'm doing everything that I'm doing in my life is because of Phoebe. And life, I would just suggest, is be passionate about your life, do things what are right, and make things right. Don't follow the herd. Animals are supposed to follow the herd, not the humans. Humans are the thinking ones. And yes, very important thing, I would really want you all to think about this. There is a saying, survival of the fittest. Does it really apply to us? Think about this. Maybe you can get in touch with me later if you've thought about it. Do write down something about it. Survival of the fittest, I'll just give you a small talk on it. Survival of the fittest only works in the animal world. We have taken that saying and put it in our lives and made our lives miserable. If you think, how many of you have pets? You have pets. So, what do you think your pet is doing when you're outside your house? Nothing, just lying around. And what were animals supposed to do in the wild? They were supposed to go and hunt, get the hunt, and feed the master, and then eat. What are we doing today? We are going out in the world, hunting, trying to cut somebody's throat, trying to snatch from somebody, trying to rob from somebody. And we are going back, and our pet is lying down on the floor. Hey, you've come home. Hi, come on, let's feed. So you are feeding your pet. I see people walking on the roads with a Rottweiler in one hand and a stick in the other. I stop that person and I ask him, who's protecting who? Haven't you got the Rottweiler to protect you? Why have you got the Rottweiler? The question is, why have you got the Rottweiler? But it is so funny. Because theoretically, people are so inclined towards theory and Google. While I love Google, it gives you a lot of information, but Googling around and just getting the half-baked information which applies to you or don't apply to you does not make any sense. Like I said earlier, you have to sit, contemplate, think about it, and find out whether you're doing the right thing. And that is what they have taught me. Live example, I'll keep saying that again and again. I wasn't this person that you see me today. I was a completely different person. I was an arrogant, angry person. I was angry with the world. I would never talk to anyone, nothing. But my dogs, my animals have made me to be what I am. And that is what the lesson is. Follow your passion, do something out of the box, whatever, however small it might be. I'm sorry, but money is not everything. Investment is not everything. There is a human life which you need to endure and you need to work with. You need to give back to the society, give back to the nature, because you're a human being. They only know to pee, poo, and run around, hunt, eat, and sleep. They are not going to build anything to better this planet. They can be our companions to better this planet, and we should take examples from there, and we should move forward. So follow your passion and do everything that you enjoy doing. Don't do anything else. Thank you.